Vindictus Defying Fate isn't your typical MMORPG sequel. It ditches the traditional online multiplayer grind and embraces a single-player action RPG experience with a heavy dose of Souls-like inspiration. This isn't just a fresh new reimagining, it is a whole new adventure set in the Vindictus universe. This playtest offers a taste of two playable characters, Fiona the sword and shield wielding warrior and Lan the dual wielding maestro. This preview focuses on Fiona, a character specifically designed for defensive play with some decent offensive moves. She definitely is waifu material and as well as a heavy hitter as well. But I want to talk to you guys about the overall combat in Vindictus Defying Fate, which is pretty much all about mastering the rhythm. Fiona's combo system is very straightforward, allowing to weave light and heavy attacks into satisfying chains. But here's the twist, the kicker, the caveat. Blocking isn't the passive safety net that you might expect. The longer you hold the block button, the weaker your defenses becomes. This encourages a more proactive approach. Dodging and parrying become essential to survive in this game. But parrying, though, adds quite another layer of depth. It is currently tied to the skill button, which you can either unleash a skill or attempt a parry depending on the timing. But mastering this mechanic allows you to interrupt enemy attacks and pretty much leave them vulnerable for any form of counterattacking. Parrying does become a little bit more better to utilize since it doesn't really leave you with openings like how dodging or blocking can. When enemies do get groggy though, once you beat an enemy enough, a glorious execution prompt does appear. This triggers a cinematic finishing move, adding a quite layer of brutality and satisfaction to combat. However, unlike traditional ARPGs, there's no loot dropping from mobs or bosses. I went through most of this demo, did not see not a single lick of loot to even be on the floor. But you will come across elite enemies who guard chests, which currently in this playtest remains inaccessible, so you really can't really grab anything to really help you further in this playtest. But there is another key difference in most Souls-like games. The Vindictus doesn't have a stamina bar. Now, with a game like this, you would expect there to be a stamina bar, but nope, you can dodge to your heart's content, making strategic positioning and as well as like well-timed dodges very, very crucial for avoiding enemy attacks. Health isn't freely regenerated either. You'll need to pretty much find like the designated rest areas to heal up and as well as replenish any supply of healing potions, which during the time in the demo I've only seen a max of 3 and no really true way to upgrade that. So as the bosses do get harder, you only got 3 potions to keep yourself in the game a little bit longer. Now the challenge though, there is a cool little thing regarding like once you beat the boss, they actually show you what time the boss was beaten in. So most of the main 2 bosses, I think I got them within under like a minute and like 15 seconds. But bosses are the true test of your player's skills. Each one requires a specific strategy to overcome. Be prepared for unblockable and unavoidable attacks, and both of these are denoted by yellow and red flashes respectively. But there is a godforsaken boss, the Gnoll boss fight, the Gnoll chieftain boss fight to be exact, right? In particular, he serves as a brutal reminder of the game's unforgiving nature. And that's pretty much what most players would truly expect from the core gameplay loop. There's not too much difference. You can have fun stringing your combos together. Of course, you stun enemies so much, you get the execution meter. Like the gameplay loop it may feel repetitive, but it does, with thanks for how fun the combat is, it doesn't get quite annoying, especially when you're trying to string up different combos and set in your active skills, going so on and so forth, right? But I want to just, slide on over and talk about a couple key things that I did notice throughout my time playing. And let's talk about the visuals, the sounds, and as well as any technical performances like bugs or anything like that. And it's not too many. This game is in pre-alpha, so keep that in mind. But for a game in pre-alpha with very limited content, Vindictus Defying Fate boasts quite impressive visuals. Essentially, environments are polished, the character models are very, very detailed to a T. Feels like I'm playing a Korean MMO, right? Right, guys, right. Fiona even comes with a generous, very, very, very generous helping of what we'll call jiggle physics. For those of you that appreciate, that sort of thing, jiggle physics is definitely in game, especially with the different outfits that the players can go through. And that's another thing, the outfits, the emoting. There's so much cool stuff you can do, and it feels like you are playing MMO, but just as a single player experience. Kind of give me that mind of like Crimson Desert. They're turning Black Desert Online into a single player experience. And that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from playing Vindictus Defying Fate. Set in the same universe, just built completely different. Now, I don't know if they're going to make this a multiplayer, but from just the looks of how the game runs and how the game plays, you could probably have like friends either join your party, kind of like Dark Soulsy, or it could just complete a complete single player experience. From so far, I think it just might be a single player experience, but we'll see when the game actually fully comes out. The game does run very smooth. I didn't really run into any bugs or any lag. I think the only time I suffered anything that was different would be the occasional like lag when you're trying to skip one of the cutscenes. I just noticed that it was like, oh, it just real stuttery, was very off. But other than that, I feel like that will be very much polished later down the line. It's a forgivable thing considering the game is in alpha stage at the moment and we're just playing the playtest. But I want to, talk a little bit on my final thoughts and my verdict on whether or not that Vindictus Defying Fate it will be a nice welcoming gift to the ARPG and Souls-like genre. As expected from a alpha build, there are quite areas for improvement. Another thing I noticed that there's no leveling up or any gear progression that wasn't present in the playtest. If this is going to be an ARPG, I feel like that should definitely be a key thing if we're falling under the action RPG tag here. Even for something like a Souls-like, there should be some form of progression, whether it's from just leveling up and getting stronger or leveling gear up. There's many like the horizontal progression or vertical progression. Another thing I noticed is that the player character's roll animation feels just a tad bit sluggish, especially against much faster enemies who do multiple chains of attacks. There could be some fine tuning to make it just a tad bit more responsive. It's nothing too crazy. It's not really bad, something really bad. Just I feel like it can definitely be freshened up just a little bit. The developers have also drawn the inspiration from the Irish folklore for the enemy designs and resulting in a bestiary of visually stunning creatures. The fur and details on the manes and fur of all the wolf enemies are particularly impressive. This game looks phenomenal. But the verdict, I would say so far until we actually get the game to be fully released, Vindictus Defying Fate is a promising reimagining of the Vindictus universe, pretty much set in the same universe. The focus on character mastery, strategic combat, and challenging bosses do offer a refreshing take on the action RPG genre. Like I said, with that character mastery, I need some form of level progression or gear progression, anything of that, and I feel like this game will be like right golden, right? Which I have a feeling that may be the case. Way too early to say. It's just kind of weird that it's not already in the playtest part. I don't know if they got a skill tree ready. That's up to, we'll have to keep track of that. While the pre-alpha build lacks features like I said, the gear progression or the fleshed out character progression system, the core gameplay loop is undeniably fun and as well as engaging. With further development and polish, Vindictus Defying Fate has the utmost potential to be a must-play for both fans of the original Vindictus game, the MMORPG, and the Souls-like genres. But I want to know what you guys think about Vindictus Defying Fate. Have you been playing a playtest? How you been feeling about the bosses recently? Right now, I'm stuck on the no boss fight, but I feel like after recording this, I could probably hop back in and try to defeat him again. I want to hear what you guys think about it. Are you guys new to the series, or have you already played the Vindictus MMO? Let me know. I want to hear about it. Make sure to like the video, subscribe as well. Your boy's on his way to 1,000 subscribers. And other than that, you know, it's been your host, KST TV, here at Chaotic Inc., signing out. Peace.
I make a manifest, I don't sleep, that's so weak, don't plan to rest. I'm from a hood where you die if you don't pack a vest. No culinary degrees, but whipping crack the best. Chefing, hard times taught lessons. Praying every night to pull up and park Benzes. What's my home is what you call trenches. You wouldn't last a day seeing life through all lenses. It's all tension, no sun, and rain and plenty, full-time job.